Hello and welcome to another Locations, Lifestyle and Business segment. I'm joined by the lovely Amber, also known as Commie. Commie, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell our followers a little bit about who you are and your story so far?
Sure, most definitely. Thanks so much for having me, Alicia.
Oh,
So as Alicia said, my name is Amber from Commie's Cupcakes, and I help cake decorators to achieve their cake decorating dreams by giving them and teaching them the design skills they need to create those stunning Pinterest-worthy cakes. So if you're okay with that, I'm going to share my story with you.
yeah.
So I'll keep it quick, I promise. But it all started when I was 19 years old. I was always creative and I fell in love with graphic design. And I became employed full-time at Gladstone News Weekly, the local paper here, as a junior designer. And I just thought it was the perfect match for me. I was so creative and in love with my job, and I was so certain that that job was where I would stay with for the rest of my life. But it was a couple of years later where I just felt so flat and uninspired in my own work. And it was really just mainly due to the clients I was working with. I just wasn't able to flex those design muscles and actually be creative in my job, which is why I started it to begin with.
Hmm.
So it was around this time where I started searching for that creative outlet. And I stumbled on the TV show, The Great Australian Bake Off, just as the first episode aired. And literally overnight, Alicia, I became obsessed. And my poor mum and my husband, because I hadn't touched fondant or buttercream in my life, but all I could talk about was creating these freaking amazing cakes. It's hilarious looking back. But it's funny. Hey, I was so obsessed with them. But about 1.5 months later, I actually went to my first ever cake decorating class, and that just cemented my obsession with them. It just made me so creative, and it set that passion and excitement in me again. And eventually it turned into a business where I created cake orders for people, and I just felt so fulfilled and respected by my clients. They wanted me to bleh, can't find my word. They wanted me to. I'm so excited.
Too much excitement coming out.
I know. They wanted me to design their own cakes for their celebrations, and it just felt so wonderful to be trusted with that. So what formed this, was originally a type of escapism, turned into this amazing business I have today, where I now have the wonderful opportunity to mentor and teach fellow cake decorators and stir that same passion in other people.
Yeah, well, look, you are doing amazing work in that space, and often you'll see things come up on the Facebook feed. And just my friend Citra just the other day, and she'll love that shout out. I just know that. I think she did it for Mother's Day with her mother-in-law and did the cake decorating.
Yes.
Yeah, she just absolutely loved that. It's been really, really good. And we had you down at Riverstone Rise as well, doing a little workshop for the kids and parents. When was that, last year, I think? And doing
I think it was.
Yeah, it would have been before COVID, and kids love coming and do their little creative stuff. Yeah, great.
Fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love teaching people and just seeing that creativity spark. Definitely my favorite.
Yeah, and I remember when you worked at GNW or Gladstone News Weekly, and you're probably designing some of my stuff back from like home loans, etc. days and all that kind of thing. I'm thinking, yeah, I definitely recognise your name. And small world. Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
then here. So yeah, it's great that you've found your own brand now, and obviously you're on the other side of that conversation. So your biggest challenge so far, you're doing extremely well. You've received a lot of awards and accolades, which is just unreal.
Thank you.
That's okay. From Gladstone too. Round of applause, Gladstone. Go Gladstone. Go team. What would you say is one of your biggest challenges that you've had, say, in the last 12, 18 months?
Yeah, look, a big one for me is actually working full-time in a day job while trying to grow my cake business.
Yeah.
My full-time job, it was great. It gave me the funds originally to start my business and to continue growing it. And it also was like my safety net. So if the cake decorating didn't work out, I could fall back to my full-time job. But over the years of having full-time work, I just couldn't commit to the time to grow my business. And so it was a real struggle, to be honest. And then on the other side of that too, I felt like I wasn't actually treating my cake business as an actual business. Because I had that full-time job, I knew I had that main income coming in. So there wasn't that urgency for me to market myself and to create that income for my cake business. So I could grow and move forward. So that was my own fault ultimately. But yeah, thankfully, in starting from the beginning of this year, I am now working part-time at my day job. So I now have the time. Yeah. So I now have the time to actually work part-time in my business and to commit to doing things I actually love to do, which is teaching and building the business to where I want to be.
Which I guess is a nice segue into the next question and topic is, what is your big goal for 2020?
Yes. Well, originally before COVID hit, I actually really wanted to travel around central Queensland actually and teach cake decorating and speak at events in the cake community and really connect with those people in those communities. That's something I really want to do. But of course, COVID hit and that's kind of changed plans. But I'm hoping once that blows over, I'll be able to, continue on with that goal and plan out teaching and connecting with those community members.
And you have been designing a subscription service or something similar to that effect?
Sorry, pardon?
Have you been designing a bit of a subscription service or something to that effect?
Yeah, so at the moment,
I wasn't sure if I could say that actually. A bit of insider intel from Chrissy.
Yeah. That's so funny. As well as teaching in-person classes, I do have a series of online classes as well. So for those who live outside of the Gladstone region, that's something you can definitely make a beeline towards. So I actually have, it's called the Boss Bakers Membership Hub, and it's a free membership, and you can get access to free PDF downloads and videos to get started with cake decorating. And it's a great starting point. So there are more in-depth paid classes in there that you can buy into, but essentially it's a free hub, and I'm hoping to add a few more freebies in there as time goes on.
Yeah, cool. Sounds like you're a busy lady.
Apologies about that. I thought I had turned my phone off, but I have not. So I'm just going to quickly switch that off there. Apologies about that one.
My phone rings hot all the time. I totally get that.
And it's always when I'm filming something. And, no one ever needs me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. So if you had some words of advice for other business owners, what would it be? Is it cake business related specific, or is it, broader business advice? There's one thing you would have changed or done differently in your time.
Definitely. Well, actually, I feel like it's more of a broader advice. I think it's so important to network with other business owners in your area, or even online in different parts of the country. I think it's important for two reasons. And one, you actually, especially in the early stages of your business, you get to learn from other business owners what works and what didn't work for them, their fails and successes, and also just generally expanding your knowledge on business. And then two, it's a great way to get your business out there and get new clients. And that's something that I wish I had done early on in my business, but I was just so nervous to put myself out there. But now I've got a different attitude. I'm just like, let's get in there. Let's meet people. Like, I'm very extroverted. But to begin with, I think I was just so unsure about myself and my business. I was too scared to do it. But I would completely recommend networking with other business owners, and actually also making friends with people in your own industry. I don't know how many times, fellow cake decorators and fellow cake decorating business owners have actually helped me, in kind of dire cake situations. And, I'm more than happy to return the favor as well. So it's more about, there's enough room for everyone out there in the same business, and it's all about sharing the love and helping each other rather than seeing each other as competitors as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. There's definitely enough of the pie to go around, and I know I've come across different people, say, in the real estate industry, and there's definitely this mindset of, oh, you know, what's your competitor doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? But I've always believed that, you know, to be successful in yourself and in your business, whatever that happens to be, you're just only looking forward. Yeah, you're consciously aware of that stuff, but, you know, if you spend, you know, a second longer in your day thinking about what that person has done or whatever, that's a second you can't get back. And then you completely have to do double the work to make up that time that is lost. So if you know what your own goals are, your business focus, what your plans are, that's the only thing that really should matter. And the people that you like to do business with and other clients, you'll just resonate with each other. It's similar sorts of energy. You know, there's someone out there for everyone. And that's one of the reasons we also diversified our team, is because I can't be everything to everyone. And I also know that everyone doesn't necessarily want to list with me or do business with me. But by having a whole different sort of team structure and different people in that team, it covers a few different bases. But yeah, it's interesting. I think in the industry, there's a lot we can learn from each other. And you never know when you need an exit strategy either. You know, who's going to buy a business, or maybe you're looking to buy a business. And
that's so important too, because it's not something that a lot of people think about when they first start entering into business. But I think that's such, you know, a really important thing to consider, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And I think more people are seeing the benefit of that going forward, like that melting pot essentially of businesses. Any final words that you wanted to add? Any accolades that you think are a bit of a milestone highlight in your career?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And don't be humble.
When being featured in my first ever magazine, so I submitted a tutorial and it was published in an international cake decorating magazine called Cake Masters, which is incredibly well known worldwide. Thank you. And that was such a privilege and an honor to see my work in print. That was amazing. And then for the last 4 years, I've been a top 3 finalists in the Australian National Cake Decorating Awards for the cupcake category as well. So it's just amazing to have your work recognised completely. But ultimately those big wins are like amazing. But honestly, and it might sound a bit silly, but getting that instant feedback from people in my classes, and seeing them actually enter the classroom, being a bit nervous, not sure what to expect with fondant, you know, it's tricky to work with. And by the end of the class, they are laughing, they are loving fondant, they're being creative, they're risk takers by the end of it. And it's just amazing to see that transformation and you know, to encourage people to be creative and to continue cake decorating outside that class. Oh, it just feels awesome. It just feels awesome.
Living on the edge of a cupcake knife. Living dangerously.
Yep. Leaving a fondant out on the table, you know, without covering it, that's living dangerously in our world right here.
Yeah. One layer at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, well, look, you have done some amazing work, and it's definitely great to have you on our segment. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. If people want to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
Yeah, most definitely. You can look me up on socials. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Otherwise, you can head over directly to my website and find out everything there. So commiescupcakes.com.au.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And we look forward to tasting some of those cupcakes soon.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Alicia. Yeah. I so appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.